Hey y'all, welcome back to Retail Remedy. My name is Giselle and I am a reseller, and I have been a reseller for about 5 years now, starting in 2018. And I'm telling y'all this because this is a different kind of video today. I've wanted to put this video out for a while, just sharing where I am so far. By no means am I claiming to be an expert or a guru at all on this subject, but I believe that at this point I still have some things that I can share, as well as I have things that I'm also still working on. Okay, so this video today is about what I have learned being a reseller, as well as what I wish I knew from the start. Okay, so I did write down a little short list, a couple of bullet points, and then I will explain. But I want to say that this should help anyone who is thinking about starting a reselling shop, as well as someone who may be, later in the game and maybe just wants a refresher on things that, maybe you could look at from a different perspective. Either way, we are here to just learn, and I just don't want anybody to feel pressured or like they're lacking or anything based on what I'm saying here. This is for all resellers and at any point in your journey, okay? All right, so what I've learned slash what I wish I knew. This is not in a particular order. My first one that I have written down is actually a question, which was, yes, I know brands, but could I know more? Okay, so when I first started reselling, I didn't really know that many brands, or I didn't know as many as I thought I knew, but I actually knew more than I thought I knew at the same time. One of the reasons is because I had no idea as far as like price went. I know that when I was a kid, I would go and look in the mall and I would see different names. So therefore I could recognize some names that, like, even if I didn't particularly shop those brands, what I realized is research is my friend. Okay. So I used to watch other resellers, and of course I picked up some brands from them. But one of the things I wish I had known when I started, just simply because I probably would have made more money, and that is the bottom line. I wish that I known to research first and then go and do my shopping. But also, I'm not too angry that I didn't know either, because it made for a lot of great experiences and me kind of learning as I go, which was fun for me. The next thing I wrote down was find a way to like the hard stuff, right? So one of the things that I can say about reselling is that, yes, it is fun, but it is not all fun and games, okay? While it's fun, there is parts of it that, of course, are going to look like work. And in order for me to get exactly what I want out of it, I had to bear down and basically do the hard work. Okay, so the next thing is actually going to piggyback off of this, but I used to listen to this podcast on Stitcher, which is no longer an app. They actually closed down this app, and it was called the Dime Store Cowgirls, and it was a couple of ladies who were resellers as well, talking about everything that had to do with reselling. And I remember they had an episode where they talked about which parts they love versus which parts they hate, right? And everybody, like I said, has a different view on this. For me, it's listing. Listing can be so daunting for me, right? And another girl said that it's actually the photographing that was her hard stuff thing. Both of the girls had different things that they didn't like, or certain things that they would put lower on the fun spectrum when it comes to reselling. So it was cool to hear their dialogue and, just hear that other people have, their little things that I don't want to say they don't like per se, but it's not the most fun part. It's the work part for them. Okay. So like I was saying, this next thing piggybacks off of that. And basically I wrote, don't buy things you don't like or don't excite. I'm sorry, my handwriting is bad on here. Okay. But yeah, so this is what I did in my journey to start liking doing the listing part, okay? And I kind of love this because it refined my selling in general, because it helped me be selective in a different kind of way. Like, there is something to be said, of course, about being selective about brand, price range, etc. But I think that what makes my store very unique and what can make each one of our stores more unique is to honor that fashionista inside yourself, or that home decor expert inside yourself, or whatever you choose to sell, and basically only pick up the things that if you have to do a mountain of research to get it listed, that you won't mind doing so because you like the item for some reason. For me, y'all know I sell clothes mostly, and shoes and stuff. So when I like something, it actually makes it even more fun for me to list it. Or, obviously if it's one of those high end, like, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like Dior or something like that, of course you get excited to list that stuff. And I noticed while I was listing that I had basically stuff that I was excited to list and stuff that I got to and I was like, like, not that I didn't want to, but it just didn't excite me. So it was like exhausting or something to list the stuff that was not quite exciting to me. So basically, when I go to the bins, the stores, the consignment shops, etc., I will put things down that I just know is going to be exhausting for me to list. And that also, in hindsight, and just thinking about how it affects my entire business, when I'm telling other people about my shop, I basically feel more confident when I'm, handing them my business card, which now has my little scan logo on there so people can get right to my shop if they need to. It makes me feel confident that when they click on it, that when they're scrolling, that there's some really nice stuff and nothing that I'm like, about, like thinking about the scroll through. For me, the scroll through is everything. My next thing that I wrote down was storage space. Okay, so I started reselling in a studio apartment in LA. Okay, y'all, and I had a few bins, the bins you buy, the plastic bins with the tops that you buy from Walmart or Target or wherever you find it. I buy some from the bins, so wherever you find it, right? I had a pile of them up against the wall, like by my TV area in my studio apartment. But as I was getting inventory, I literally started to feel like the walls were like caving in on me, y'all. It was so much stuff inside of that apartment. It's crazy, right? And at the time, I wasn't even thinking about having a storage space. But now that I have, and I've gone from like a small storage space to like a larger, more like garage size storage space, I am so happy with it, y'all. It's something about the energy of moving that stuff out and not having to look at it in your house that makes it so much better. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just me, but at the same time, because there are people who keep their reselling stuff inside their house, and I would love to do that because I would love to not have to actually pay per month for a storage or something like that. But like, I'm so grateful for the storage. I literally, when I went and got it, was like, take my money, please. I need to move this stuff out of, my house, and stuff like that. So, and then of course I moved from California to Texas. So it was like a no-brainer for me to go ahead and get a storage. Best decision I ever made. But I would still encourage those that are just like in the first beginnings, like the first couple of months to a year of reselling, just put it in your house somewhere, because what you want to do is spend as least money as possible, I believe, right at the beginning, but keep it in the back of your mind that that is an available option and that you can, relieve yourself from all of that if you choose, if you choose to continue doing reselling. I mean, unless you are in a studio apartment, maybe you do need to, okay? Just total disclosure, okay? The next thing is a kind of a piggyback off of the storage, okay? Organization plan, y'all. Please listen to me when I say this. When you are under, I'm gonna say 300, maybe even under 200 items, start getting that organization together as far as how you are going to put your storage together, okay? Everybody does it differently. I've heard so many different ways that people have organized their storage. What I do is I number everything, okay? I prepackage and number. it has been a great relief to me when it's time to package stuff, okay? When I first had my first storage, very small space, a few bins in there, I used to fold things and just put it in bins based off of like the item type, shirts, pants, shorts, etc. But eventually it started to get even more taxing to like find things. Like it used to take me so long digging and digging and digging, and all of that folding that I did went to waste as soon as I started to look for something, okay? So it was imperative. Do not get to 500 items like I did, y'all, and then start doing storage, because the backtrack is okay? But you can do it though. If you already got to 500 and you haven't, decided on that, you can still do it, because I definitely did it. But just save yourself the trouble of going past like 500 and not having a organization plan. Trust me on this. You will love reselling way better when you can get through shipping and handling quickly by finding things quickly. I promise. So the next thing I wrote down was expand your horizons. Okay, so this has to do with sourcing. When it comes down to sourcing, I feel like if you limit yourself to one place, that's exactly what it is, a limit. Okay, so even if you're scared, and I'm talking to myself from when I was a baby I'm still a baby reseller in my mind. I'm more like, well, maybe not a baby reseller, but like going into preteen, okay? I feel like as you grow, you're going to make mistakes, okay? Just in case you're scared of going there and spending too much money, you're going to make mistakes. It is a part of the business, okay? But in order to stop yourself from making so many mistakes, simple enough, the next thing, I'll go ahead and couple these together so we can really get into it, okay? The last one is strategize, okay? So basically, come up with a strategy. I don't care what kind of strategy. It's not going to be the best strategy right at first, okay? Just to let you know, I'm just going to relieve you of the pressure now, okay? It's just important for you to come up with some type of strategy, okay? Because what it will do is it will make sure that you get what you wanted out of your business no matter what. And think about the things when you're strategizing, like think about the things that could happen. And I'm gonna give you an example. For me, if I wanted to sell my stuff for a certain price, I don't go to the store and pick up things that I only seen sold for that price, like bottom line. I will think about the fact that people send offers, I send offers, and I love to send offers and things like that. And I love to give people a good deal. So if the highest price that it can sell for is that price that I'm looking for, I shoot for about $10 or $15 more, because then it gives me a chance to not only get it for the price that I want, but also maybe a little more, and also I can give somebody a pretty good deal on the item itself, okay? So when we're thinking about strategy, whatever it is, just kind of think about what could possibly, affect, your result. And then when you go to the stores, because you have your plan in place, you don't have to think about overspending. Another thing is obviously to have a budget, but that's a part of the strategy. I didn't want to like break it down into too many parts, because it's like, some of these things are kind of like, it's known, but having a budget is a part of the strategy. When you go to the store, if you have a limit on how much you can spend, definitely, keep that in mind. And just think about all the little things. I've told y'all before, one of the things I love to do is be able to pay for the whole shopping trip with one item. So whatever your highest item is that you put in the cart, if the rest of your items total go above that, you need to take some stuff out. Okay? All right? And that's just in general a good rule of thumb, so that like you can get the money back that you spent, and then you can get into the profit margin. And that is basically what I have learned to make my shop better during this time. I hope you all got something from that. I tried to keep it real about like what's really going on in the reselling. I'm not trying to be super cliche and give y'all, certain types of advice. I'm going to tell y'all from a very real perspective of what I have learned. So definitely leave your comments below if you have anything else to add to this. I know there's other people that read the comments and look for, videos like this to help them along. So, we can work together and help each other out and whatnot, which is a definitely a goal of this channel. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.